Okay.
Wires manager, he's working at 5:30, we should just schedule, I'm sorry, call him.
Okay, so he'll be here late.
Well, he's going to watch bridges. Yeah, we're
Keep choosing.
15 for award tonight from Gerald.
Are you making rice?
Let's call it. I'd like to call to order the May 2019 Dunkirk City School District Board of Education meeting. Roll call.
Mr. D'Amico?
Here.
Mrs. Zerbaki? Here. Mr. Reisenweber is excused. Mrs. Smith here. Mrs. Slayton-Terrain? Here. Mr. Kozlowski?
Here.
Ms. Ramos?
Here.
And Ms. Olivia Yerko-Piazza is excused.
Thank you. Could you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, can we start with Students of the Month, please?
Sure. At this time, the following individuals are being awarded certificates of excellence, having shown themselves to be polite, courteous, and continually working to the best of their ability. By their hard work and actions, these individuals have shown they are excellent citizens and students. The Board of Education, Superintendent of Schools, faculty, staff, and parent-teachers organization would like to recognize and present each of you with a certificate to show our appreciation for your efforts. At this time, I will announce the students of the month from each of our buildings. If you will please come forward to receive your certificate. And the first one is from School 3, Miles Piche. Did I say it right?
Get your picture. Got it.
And from School 4, Sophia Placentia. Did I say it right?
Well, camera, which way?
This way.
This
Same
way,
here.
okay.
Ready? Got it.
Sorry. Sorry. It would be the
Take all the time you want.
And from School 5, Lamia Buchanan. Did I say it right? Not one page, you guys are publishing me.
We got it.
From School 7, Anthony Doles.
Matthew? I'm sorry.
Matthew? That's not what it said.
Matthew
Matthew Doles. I'm sorry. I can read, it's not what it says. Roscoe? It says Ann.
Yeah, what's it
Oh,
say in the?
It does.
It does say
The
Anthony.
end, yes.
So we'll have-
Says Anthony?
Yes,
Okay, that's from the building, so now we got, it's supposed to be Matthew,
Matthew.
2 T's, 1 T?
Let me get one more.
2 T's?
2 T's. If you leave it, we'll get it fixed.
Okay.
From middle school, Felicity Cooper. From the high school, Mackenzie Gugino.
Yep. We'll
Okay.
get that to you. Well, I want to congratulate all the recipients. Matthew, we will definitely get your name right. Where you at, Matthew? All right, good.
Sorry, thank you.
All right. And everyone else, congratulations. We do understand it's a school night. You're more than welcome to stay and enjoy the meeting, but you can also leave if you like to. Okay, we'll continue on with the regular meeting. Next up will be questions and oral communication of the public pertaining to this evening's agenda items only. There's none. Mrs. Osmond, written communication? Thank you. Dr. Tracy, reports of superintendent of schools.
Okay, I just have a couple of things for the board. I wanted to let you know that I did talk with Dr. Kate Mahoney, as you asked me to, and we met and we looked at the biliteracy program. It was not successful because of the lack of individuals that were certified. There just weren't anybody being certified at the universities for that position. And so it was a struggle when we attempted it a couple of years ago. She's indicating that she has at least two of our teachers in that program right now, maybe a couple others in the line to go into the program. So we had a good conversation, Teresa and I, and our new ESL person, Corina. If things work out, we're hoping that we will be able to maybe do some serious planning this year in order to bring that program back. It'll be a little bit different in the way she's proposing, and it's actually something that would be more appropriate probably for Dunkirk. And so she is going to come in. You'd invited her in for the March workshop, so she will be here for the March workshop. Her presentation to you, and we'll chime in, will be about 1 hour in length. So just to let you know that will be the primary piece of our March workshop. But I also, or May. I wrote the wrong thing down. The May workshop. And then the other piece of the May workshop, we will need to do a couple things. And I've asked Al to give you a quick 10-minute little summary of what he learned from the District 6 and the Athletic Association regarding our special population being involved in athletics. That was a question that came up. And so he did get some information, so he'll present that to you about 10 minutes that night. Also at the May workshop, we'll have our business manager share with you about the new ability to create a fund balance or a fund for TRS or retirement. It's something that we're allowed to do now. A number of schools are looking at it. So she is working with Rick Timms on that. It's one of the ways that we can utilize our funds a little better that he thought we should look at. So she'll share that with you probably 10 or 15 minutes for you to look at, ask questions so that we can consider that at the next board meeting. That means that at the June workshop, we'll move the schedules because you'd asked to take a look at where we were scheduling. So we'll move that to the June workshop then in order to accommodate those things you needed to see or wanted to see. I just want to remind you that tomorrow is the CREATE program. If you're interested, it starts at 5:15 to 7:15. I believe that both Mayor Rosas and also the mayor from Fredonia will be present. There'll be a number of individuals who are part of the program, Melanie Witkowski, Kasich. There'll be Executive Director Diane Hannum from the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. That's one of the primary funders for this. Annalise Brugel from the Boys and Girls Club. So there's a number of people, and they will be talking about this program, and it's an effort to pull resources together in the community to try to eliminate or at least certainly reduce and eliminate, if possible, the abuse of children.
And this is where?
It'll be held in the high school cafeteria. And they do have, you know, food that will be served halfway through the program and so on. There'll be music, and I think the music that's being provided at the beginning as we start is by the Chautauqua Brass. So it should be interesting. And that is open to the public. Also, just a quick reminder that after we're done, if you could make sure that you see Tim to get your picture real quick for our lanyards. The Raptor system is going very well and has worked very well. It's been a good rollout. And again, at the end of the year, we'll relook at it and see what we can do to make it even better next year. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. We'll move on to Board of Education President Report. The only thing I have is our workshop was originally scheduled for the 23rd. We are going to move the workshop to the 22nd, the day before, to be able to canvass the vote and the workshop on the same day. Plus, there's an awards night on the 23rd that I know people are going to want to go to. So that's all I have. Let's move forward into consensus. Any questions or comments? We're going to need to hand carry in the resolutions in front of you. Can I have a motion to add? Mr. Kozlowski, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Serbaki. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. So that brought the resolutions in. Now I will need a motion to accept all the consensus items. Mrs. Ramos is seconded by Mr. Kozlowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, resolution number 1. Approval for Erie 2 Chautauqua Cattaraugus BOCES co-op bids.
Whereas it is the plan of a number of public school districts in Erie to Chautauqua Cattaraugus County BOCES, New York, to bid jointly those items indicated on the attachment, whereas the Dunkirk City School District is desirous of participating with other school districts in Erie to Chautauqua Cattaraugus County BOCES in the joint bidding of the commodities mentioned above as authorized by general municipal law, and whereas the Dunkirk City School District wishes to appoint a committee to assume the responsibility of drafting of specifications, advertising for bids, accepting and opening bids, tabulating bids, reporting the results to the boards of Education, and making recommendations thereon. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Dunkirk City School District hereby appoints Karen Drummond, BOCES, and a committee chosen by him to present in all matters related to the above, and be it further resolved that the Dunkirk City School District Board of Education agrees to assume its equitable share of the costs of the cooperative bidding, and be it further resolved that the Dunkirk City School District Board of Education agrees, 1, to abide by majority decisions of the participating districts on quality standards, 2, that unless all bids are rejected, it will award contracts according to the recommendations of the committee, 3, that after award of contracts, it will conduct all negotiations directly with success bidders.
Questions, comments? Motion to accept?
So moved.
Mr. Kozlowski.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Terrain. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 2, approval of temporary summer workers.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the following are hereby appointed temporary summer workers beginning July 1st, 2019. List as follows and alternatives as follows.
Questions, comments? Motion to accept?
So moved.
Mrs. Serbaki.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Ramos. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, let's start the lottery.
So these are in here. These are all in here.
These are what we're going to draw. These are already in. These are what we're drawing out.
Right, but these papers are in this. All right, so I'm going to get it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Want it right now? Is it, okay. Juan Rosado?
Julio Diaz.
I gotta make sure I can read it. Read it, see it. Miracle Braca?
Michael Torres. I'm glad I got the easy one.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Sol Maria Rosado. Sol Maria.
You did good?
Johnny O. Barrios?
And Wilfredo Santana.
Kylie Walker.
Brian Bain.
Hernandez? Moreno?
Marrero.
Morero?
Kathiari Serrano.
Caitlin Davis.
Pablo Rodriguez Ortiz?
And Luis Gonzalez.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Ruben Medina Rivera.
Owen Fred.
Ethan Yanni?
Jose Mendez Gonzalez.
Anthony Ortiz.
Melquia Soto?
Angelina Bowen. Bowden.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll continue on to number 3, approval of temporary technology and grounds department summer workers.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent in schools, that the following are hereby appointed temporary technology and grounds department summer workers beginning May 20th, 2019, list as follows.
Questions, comments? Motion to accept?
So moved.
Mr. Kozlowski.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Terrain, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 4, appointment of coaches.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the following are hereby appointed coaches, unpaid coaches, and interim for the 2019-2020 school year. List as follows.
Good. Questions, comments? Motion to accept.
So moved.
Mr. Kozlowski. Second by Mrs. Ramos, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 5, appointment of outreach liaison.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that Loida Robles, Dunkirk, New York, is hereby appointed to the position of outreach liaison effective May 13th, 2019, $12.59. Ms. Robles has completed her 6-month probationary period with the district. Note, Ms. Robles is transferring from teacher aide to outreach liaison, filling the vacancy for Pablo Alvaria, who transferred.
Questions, comments? Motion to accept.
So moved.
Mr. Kozlowski.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Terrain, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 6, approval of revision to policy 3130, naming of school facilities, plaques, memorials, public dedications.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the Dunkirk City School District Board of Education that policy number 3130, naming of school facilities, plaques, and memorials, public dedication, is hereby revised as presented to the individual Board of Education members.
Questions, comments? Motion to accept.
So moved.
Mrs. Serbaki, with a seconded by Ms. Ramos, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Number 7, appointment of extended school day grant program at the high school.
Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the following individuals are hereby appointed to the noted extended school day grant programs at the high school as follows.
Questions, comments? Motion to accept.
So moved.
Mr. Kozlowski,
Second.
second by Mrs. Terrain, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. Now we'll head into old business. Don't think we have it. Anybody have anything? Okay, new business, anybody got anything?
I guess this is new business. You want to go first?
It was
Go
just simple as, it's teacher appreciation
That was just what I was going to
day,
say.
week, month. So we should say something about that.
Right. I was gonna say the same thing. I was just gonna say that we wanted to thank all the teachers for all the hard work they do each and every day with the students of our school district. So thank you very much, whoever's here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else on the new business? Okay. If not, we'll go into questions and oral communications of the public. So at this time, I would like to recognize the board meetings that will now be televised by the city's public address channel. And the board truly hopes that this will lead to even greater community engagement in the deliberations of the board. Because televising board proceedings will essentially create a permanent record of all that is said and done at our meetings, I want to further emphasize the importance of observing the standards that apply to the board's public comment portion. The board, of course, encourages public participation during the public comment portion of our meeting. However, it is important to recognize that there are legal restrictions on the subjects that can be discussed. The board wants to ensure that individuals who wish to participate in the public comment period do so without creating liability for themselves or for the district. In particular, as referenced in board policy number 3220, it is inappropriate to comment about individual district employees due to the confidentiality and privacy rights that can be impacted by any such comments. If you have concerns regarding individual employees, the board encourages you to bring those concerns in a confidential manner to the superintendent or to the appropriate building principal. Likewise, federal law, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, generally prohibits public discussion regarding individual students. Again, if you have any concerns or issues regarding an individual student, please do not hesitate to bring that to the attention of the appropriate building principal or to the superintendent. Thank you for your anticipated compliance with these important standards, and we look forward to the continued public input of the wide range and other school district matters which are appropriate for public comment. 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So, do we have anybody that has filed to speak? Okay.
From back here, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
So you have 3 minutes,
Okay.
and could I have your name, please?
My name is Marcy Lukacs. I live at 415 Robin Street in the city of Dunkirk. I am the tax manager at Bagot Laredo Bagot. I am the president of the School 5 PTO, as well as the president-elect of the Dunkirk Fredonia Rotary, and I'm also the president of the Dunkirk City Public Library. I'm coming to you tonight because with a concern that has reached several of our parents at School 5 regarding the possible elimination of one of our first grade classrooms for the 2019-2020 school year. Can we please get a comment on the possibility of that happening?
At this point, we're not even to that point yet, that I know of.
Okay,
still-
but has the
I mean, there's always going to be ongoing discussion, but there's nothing.
right, but what
at
would
this
be the
point that we're
reasoning
voting on.
behind eliminating the
Yeah, that-
first grade classroom?
That is something that is done administratively, and the final decision will be done when assignment letters go out.
Okay, so there's no discussion with the parents about all of a sudden all of their, kindergartners that are at School 5 at such a young age would be moved to other schools in a disruption of their educational experience? I mean, it's bad enough that we move so many first graders out of School 5 and reassign them to other schools, which it has always been a horrific idea to me, that you're taking 6-year-olds who have been at a school for for a couple of years, and you're sending them to other schools when our whole focus is supposed to be on those children. And I understand, I'm a numbers person, I'm a CPA. I understand it's all about numbers, but these are children. So I think we need to make sure that we're thinking about them as children, and that we're making sure that they're getting the best education that they can with the best teachers that they can, and that we're not just saying, okay, well, we don't have room for them here, so let's move them somewhere else.
Now, that won't happen. When the decision's made, it will be made in what's best first and foremost for my kids, and second of all, after that is what's best to be good stewards of taxpayers' monies. First and foremost, what's best for my kids. Second, what's best to be a good steward of the taxpayers' money. given
Which I
the-
understand, but we,
Okay, that, I mean, I can talk to you, or I can give her a call back.
Yeah, because we're out of time anyways.
14 seconds.
Yeah, 14 seconds, but, would you be willing to set up an appointment with the?
talk
Okay.
Tracy.
Yeah,
My door is always open. My door is always open,
Then I'll be happy to stop by.
please.
thank you. Do we have anyone else that would like to address the board? If not, okay. We will have to move on at that point if there's nothing else.
She wants to say something.
Please, we would like to.
So,
Someone read it for her.
And we're gonna need to move on to adjournment.
and do a,
Okay, if there's nothing further,
one
can I?
with you after executive session.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm gonna need a motion to go in executive session for a, update on contract negotiations.
So moved.
I got a motion by Mrs. Serpaki, a seconded from Mr. Kozlowski. Okay, all in favor? That's approved. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Mrs. Terrain, seconded by Mrs. Ramos. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting's closed.
If you could, maybe the easiest thing would be to go ahead and get your picture first, then we can.
Sure. So, free Tim up?
Tim, come on down.